When did you first start thinking about the idea of having Michael Gandolfini play the teenage Tony?
Right away. Yeah.
Why?
Gee. Uh, well, he looks like his father. He is his father's son, mostly because he looked like him and moves a little bit like him. I thought, so for a movie, it's supposed to be the same character. That would be the best. Although I don't think we started with him. I think we read other kids. When it hit, it really hit like, oh yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I spoke to him, and he said initially when his manager told him that there was interest in this, his response was, and I quote, "Fuck no!" Like he wanted no part of sort of stepping into this. Do you remember, like, what conversations did you have with him over the course between that and when he did
None.
it? None.
None. He came in, he read, and we hired him. I didn't talk to him, but I mean, I knew him. Denise and I had lunch with him when he first came out to California, which was probably, I don't know, a year before that. And actually, he seemed at that dinner, at that lunch, very soft. And we kind of stayed very loosely. I probably saw him twice in 2 years. Friends. He is a friend of Tim Van Patten's daughter. They're both actors.
Yeah.
So at Tim Van Patten's house, I'd see him occasionally.
He was a little kid. Like he was born after the first season wrapped, and I think was 7 or 8 when the show ended. He remembered like his dad bringing him to Silver Cup, and he would nap in Tony and Carmela's bed. Do you remember him at all being around there at that time?
I do. Yeah.
What was he like as a kid?
I mean, he never acted up there. I mean, he probably was told to, settle down all the time there. But he had a great little kind of Tony-like face. And I recall that he was with Tony a couple of times, with Jim, when Jim called me Satan, vampire, all of that loving stuff.
When he started either at the table read or at the audition or whatever level, when he started really sort of capturing the essence of that character, because he really does, what did that feel like to you, having been there for Jim when he played that role for so long?
Well, it felt miraculous. Sometimes when things are miraculous or astounding, you start laughing because it's so incredible. But I remember looking across the room at the read-through, at the table, and he was sitting there like this, and it wasn't his scene. And he was I mean, I can't do it with his shoulders. He was doing this thing, and I thought, holy shit, that's incredible.
Yeah. He did the, when we were having lunch, he did the, what did you just say kind of face that Jim would do all the time. And I kind of had to push back in my chair. It's very...
He did it for real or to show you?
No, just basically I was asking like what sort of mannerisms he picked up from his dad that he tried to sprinkle into the performance.
Yeah. What did you just say?
In general, I mean, that's... It's almost like actors playing historical figures with some of these characters, because the audience has an impression in their head of what Tony looks and sounds like, what Livia, Paulie, Silvio, et cetera, does. And yet you've got actors who you want to give performances that, that they're not just doing impressions. What did you want out of this cast, the people who were playing characters from the show?
It's very, very difficult and very difficult to say. I mean, I probably would have been content with impressions, but I would have known that was wrong. I probably would have gotten a kick out of it if it was really working, but I would have known that that's not what it should be. Whether I would have had the willpower to stop, I don't know.
Billy Magnuson said you actually got Tony Sirico to record the young Paulie Walnuts dialogue for him to listen to to sort of as a reference. Why did you do that?
I would say Paulie was the hardest one to get.
Why?
He's the most unusual. I mean, this is not disrespectful. The most cartoon-like. The way he talks, his gestures, all this stuff. Nobody can touch his hair, the stories. The way he bugs his eyes when he's surprised, and great expressions. It was sort of beyond doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of beyond doing.